What are your thoughts around PMI becoming involved in the Agile space?
I'm actually very glad that the PMI is becoming more involved in the Agile space. As far as I know, it has been involved in the Agile space internally, but now I guess exposing it externally and talking about it and creating a certification in the space, I think it's actually going to mend the community a lot. It will bring Agile more to a mainstream, as a lot of people were regarding Agile and PMI, or the classical project management, at odds, and I think the PMI move of coming into the Agile space is going to change a lot of people's mindset and open up the idea that, wait, there may be more value in this than we think.
What are your thoughts regarding defining a set of good practices for the Agile certified practitioner?
So I have mixed feelings about this one. I think based on the Shuha remodel, I think people need an entry point into Agile, and I think that's the good part, that there is a set of practices that people can start with. However, my main concern is people not understanding that this is a basic set of practices, and that true agility is not about practices, but more about the mindset, the values, and the principles. And I'll tell you, this has been one of the major issues that gives me a heartburn in this whole Agile space, is that people not understanding that the boundaries of Agile, and the Agile authors wrote it down, it was about the values, the mindset, the principles. It wasn't about the practices. Yet you need the practices to get people started, but true agility exists and lives beyond the boundaries of a certain set of practices. It's changing the practices as you see suitable. So for a certification to have a basic set of practices is okay, as long as people understand that in the bigger context, that this is an assessment of the basic entry point practices, but not of all of agility.
What trends are you noticing in the Agile community?
Trends. So I think there's a number of different trends that are showing up. First is integration with other domains and disciplines. So sort of upselling and down and everywhere, going into embedded systems, integrating more of the UX experience, looking at Agile outside of the IT world and integrating more into business. So it's growing in every different direction, up, down, sideways. And so that's a great trend, because I believe within an organization, Agile has to create an ecosystem. And so for that ecosystem to really exhibit that agility, everyone needs to get on board. So that's one trend that I'm very glad to see. Some of the other trends I'm looking at and worrying about is as Agile becomes more mainstream, people, again, boiling it down to empty rituals and not understanding the essence behind it. As Alistair always says, there's essence, decoration, and myth. I think a lot of people are looking at the decoration and forgetting the essence, the mindset, the values, and principles. It's as it's growing, I think this is a natural phenomena that you'll see, and I encourage more of the thought leaders and the Agile leaders to constantly remind people that Agile is not a methodology, it's not a process, it's a mindset, it's a way of thinking.
As Agile software development crosses the chasm, what are the major challenges you see facing the community over the next couple of years?
So I think I just answered that one, but some of the major challenges I see as Agile crosses the chasm, I think, is, again, losing the spirit, really losing. And you see this, I guess, as many different things cross the chasm, that the original intent behind the thing is sort of preserved by those who started it and the close circle around them. But as Agile becomes more mainstream and crosses the chasm, I think we need to recognize that people want slower steps towards Agile. These, from 1990s till today, you have these major quick transformations and all that. I don't think that's going to work, especially as you go into more enterprise level adoptions. People want to see a step-by-step gradual increase towards agility, not, hey guys, we're going to change everything overnight. I think that's going to be one of the main messages that needs to be tweaked, that this is a journey, not an event in time.
What are your hopes and wishes for the future of the Agile community?
My hopes and wishes for the Agile community are for it to grow, for it to transform the way people think about working, and to really transform people I've seen when you coach people, when people get it, when people really get it, it transforms their lives. And I think if we can have more people talking about that and actually showing people how to get that, where to go from there, I think that would be awesome. The other thing that comes to my mind is more, not standardization, but more alignment on terminology. I think we're creating rifts in the Agile community by becoming non-Agile and becoming very in our way about how to do things, when this whole thing started by a group of people that did different things but could align on common things. So I really hope we come back to that commonality, and that's what we promote, and leave the agility open to people to change the practices as they see suitable.